A 1, 2, 3.
Gonna walk that promenade, yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade, be the talk of that promenade, looking for a star drifter, not a shapeshifter, lots to do and more to see, sweet sticks from a jumbo tree, oh, oddities, opportunities, free advice, but not for cheapo gambling wheels, shaded deals, meet me back here tomorrow, please. Walk that promenade. Yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade.
Hello and good evening for this Monday, December 11th, 2023. Star Trek DS9, Season 7, Episode 4, Take Me Out to the Holosuite is over. And it's been over since, 25 years ago. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast, a live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us on the audio version. I'm your host, Dave Mader, and we got a great panel here to break down this episode. Once again, we are joined with my cousin and yours, Davan Skelhorn.
How's it going, man? I'm excited to talk about this episode. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Go Niners.
Let's manufacture some triumph or something. Let's do it.
Yeah, manufacture triumph. Looking to manufacture some triumphs, we got the one, the only, the Niners hoodie himself, Kevin Millard.
Hello. Death to the opposition.
Death to the opposition, indeed.
I have that t-shirt too.
Also joining us once again, it's been a while. He hasn't been here since season 3 when we did Fascination, but he's back. It's the one, the only, Steve Shives.
Hey, what's a bunt?
Well, Brom doesn't know either, but it's all good. It's his signature thing. And of course,
it's a small burrowing bird.
I believe so. Yeah,
I like baseball. It's fun.
And of course, Adam Woodward helping round out our panel tonight. We almost got a whole baseball team here, Adam.
We do. We just need a few more.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, Dave.
Yeah, and Adam, this is your first time ever watching this episode, right?
It was my
lucky
first
duck.
Time, and
Wow.
I gotta say it's been the most enjoyable episode I've watched. I've got some questions for you guys.
Okay. Well, let's.
There's one question you definitely should have, and I wonder if it's the question you do have, because there's something about this episode that definitely has come up in a debate 9 before.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I had watched it before that we had did that debate 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we were getting ready for this episode, I was like, do you know who always has the Niners gear on, other than Kevin? Is Steve Shives, always with the hat, with that great logo that they designed for this episode. It really holds up.
Yeah, it's a really cool logo, and it's my Star Trek talking hat. So I figured I better wear it tonight.
Well, I'm glad you did. Let's go around quickly to the panel. Maybe Kevin first. Where does Take Me Out to the Holosuite rank for you?
It's good. It's fun. There's no subtlety or nuance to it or anything. It's the message is pretty heavy-handed, but it's a fun episode.
It's a fun episode. Maybe not your favorite episode.
No, I wouldn't rank there as a favorite of mine.
Okay. And Davan, how much do you love this episode coming in?
I love this episode a great deal. One of the best holodeck episodes, if you count it as one, if not the best. That came up in a debate 9, but that's not what I'm talking about here. So the thing about that maybe contentious about this episode is the size of the holodeck, like how they actually pulled off this baseball game. Now we could talk about that, but
True.
On the positive, I love this episode. But what this episode shows
And why I say Deep Space Nine is the greatest story ever told is people always say, well, Deep Space Nine is great because it gets serious and dark and that kind of stuff. But Deep Space Nine also does the fun and the funny better than the other Star Treks too. And this is an example. Death to the Opposition.
Death to the Opposition. You know, I pulled it. Where is it? Where should I do?
Death to the opposition! Find him and kill him!
Find him and
We will destroy them. That's the attitude I want, Mr. Ward.
Yeah, exactly. I like as a huge fan of sports movies. I would say, you know, this one really kind of holds up for me as one of the best sports TV episodes ever. You know, I think of films like Major League, but The Mighty Ducks and these other things I kind of grew up with. And this episode, you know, they never, I don't know, it's really fun how they make a team. I don't know, there's something about just making a team with your friends and then playing other people, much like we do in our Kevin Smith street hockey tournament every year. You know, like Kevin's on one team, I'm on another, and we, you know, sometimes we win, sometimes he wins. Lately, he's been winning more, but you know, it's I don't know, fun. There's a fun rivalry here, but I like how the villains are these Vulcans who are, or they're not really villains, they're the antagonists, I suppose.
No, Solok is a villain. He's a racist. He's a straight up racist. So
100%.
I think, yeah, he didn't rank well in our captain's list.
No, he didn't
because of that very reason.
I don't think we put him in the villains list because he technically doesn't do anything truly villainous.
No, we didn't.
But
he was already in the other list.
Yeah, he's apparently a war hero, you know. But what we will do is we'll run through the screenshots just to kind of remind ourselves on all the different beats that happened in the episode, and then we'll sort of, you know, have our little rating at the end. And Adam, you know, if you have questions, I get this was your first time coming along, so maybe stop me as we go.
So we're in now. This is the third episode in this season, or
fourth?
Okay, I missed last week, right? But I did watch it. And you know, when we talk about Strange New Worlds and, you know, they're 10 episodes, it's really good they had so many episodes right now, because I'm not really into this season right now, guys. Like, it seems like it was okay. Like, this episode was the best one of the four I guess I've watched this season, but it was okay.
It's a bit of a slow start to this seventh season. I'm sorry. You know, like compared to the other seasons, I would say this one is they said that they did it deliberately. You know, they wanted to, especially with the transition from Jedzir to Ezri and all that's still kind of happening. But I would say that like my memory as we're going through the process, I'm like, yeah, season 7 maybe not as good as season 6 and 5, but you know, that's why we go through the process.
It's not. I don't think, but
it's got
hard to top that though. Like,
it's got its good moments, and I'd say this episode is one of the really good moments of the season. You know, so
it was a really, like, after watching episode 3 and then 4 yesterday afternoon. I did not enjoy episode 3. I found the writing
the one with Ezri and Garrick.
Garrick, yes, I found it a slow episode, but this one was funny. It was good. And can't go wrong with Worf cracking his little
jokes. Well, but he means it. He's sincere, you know.
Yeah.
Find him and kill him.
That's one of the best things ever. Find him and kill him. Yeah, like one of the best things.
What do I do? You know.
And Odo as the Empire was fantastic. He was like the best, you know, Empire I've ever seen.
That's one of the highlights of the episode for me too. Odo as the Empire is perfection.
Perfect.
Yeah, especially like when he does the umpire. I'm gonna turn my back on you now because I've had enough of you.
Yes.
That was good.
I love that move. It's one of the best things in sports. Actually,
You're gone.
That's right. Okay, let's. Well, the only thing I was like, there's a couple of people that they put on this team and they don't put on this team that kind of stand out to me. But let's run through it. So we start off the episode with a shot.
Morn should have been on the team.
I was thinking more Garrick or even, okay. You know, I guess Lita's inclusion on the team was like, really? Lita made the team? Okay. But sure. Okay. Because we hadn't seen Lita in forever. Anyway, so what's it called? The Takuvma? The Takumbra. Not Takumbra.
The Takumbra, yeah.
Yeah, Takuvma is another guy. The Takumbra.
He don't have no ships named after him.
No. Maybe some Klingon ships. So the Tekumbra, a Nebula class ship, is here at the station, and we see Captain Cisco a little tense that there's a Captain Solak here to see him, and he doesn't seem too happy. And then we met with Captain Solak, who, oh man, this guy's such a dick. So amazingly, I don't know, he plays it well. Like, you know, he talks about they trade some jabs to start off about like, I heard you got the Pike Medal of Honor. Yeah, my third time. I heard you only got it twice. Yeah, that's right. You know, like they've been like there's a competition and sort of a thing between these two, even though they're supposed to be these professional Starfleet captains who are above these things. But you know, not.
Do
so
we
much.
have the actor who played Solak? He's so good.
The actor who plays him is sorry, I should have this. It's Gregory Wodgrowski, who also he was in some Enterprise episodes, I believe. He played what did he play in Enterprise? Chosen Realm, which was like an episode. Oh, he was like I think the guy that stole. They stole the warp coil from, I think. So anyway, but yeah, he did this before that. He's so I don't know. He doesn't have like he just has to play that straight man, that sort of passive aggressive guy, and you know, he says, "Oh, I heard we have a baseball program on my ship now. We've been playing it, you know, just to get like Cisco going." And Cisco kind of knows what this is all about, but he can't help himself, you know. Did
they not set the tone for this conversation perfectly with the first two lines of dialogue, though? It's like, welcome to Deep Space Nine. Your welcome is acknowledged.
Not even a thank you. Your welcome is acknowledged. That was a great line too. He was really good. You know, and so this episode written by Ronald D. Moore. And some of these little things in the dialogue just really stand out for me, really work. So anyway, so Cisco, after this meeting with the captain, says, "Kira, we're meeting in the boardroom to talk baseball." Or I don't even know if he told them right what he's pulling them together for. But hey, everybody, we're gonna make a baseball team. And they're like, "What?" You know,
they're all for it right here. And then he reveals,
absolutely, sir.
That he reveals that it's baseball.
Oh yeah,
and they're all like, "Oh,
oh, that
what did they
thing
think
we've all
it
that thing we've all been humoring you about for the last 6 years."
But it's like they get 2 weeks off. They get 2 weeks
Worf
off.
thought it was killing people.
Worf's disappointed.
There's a
We're
war
not even
going
going to
on.
kill anybody. It's not even a contact sport.
Not
Hang
one
on a
Vulcan.
Yeah, this was great. Anyway, so there's a baseball, and that's where we're headed, and that's the title. To get into the title card of the episode, "Take Me Out to the Holosuite," which involves a lot of the crew trying to learn what baseball even is, because we know soccer is still popular in this century, but baseball is not. You know, it's kind of fell away over the last couple centuries, and so and none of them are human here. And Worf and Nog and Kira, who are trying to figure out what it is, what a pop fly is, all like those little nuanced things in baseball.
You know what I would have loved to have seen here, and I guess they didn't own the rights or didn't think about it, but is to do the Abbott and Costello bit in the Holosuite. You know. That describing yeah, you know,
who's on first?
Because they did it pretty good here. They were describing, you know, baseball's a very tough game to explain, and
it is. I remember teaching it to my son like when he was a kid, and it was like, okay, but then you can't do this in this situation, and there's all these exceptions.
Yeah,
you know, but they're pretty smart people, these astronauts, so they can figure it out, I'm sure. Anyway, but then so we got the scene here in Quarks. It's Ezri, Bashir, and O'Brien talking about it and learning the rules. And then they're approached by Lita and Rom, who want to be part of the team. You know, they want to sign up and get involved with it. And then I think Quark also kind of chimes in along in here and says he wants to be in it too. I can't remember why.
Well, no, Quark is very dismissive of it, but then we see him joining the team. And they never really acknowledge that he joined the team. He's sort of like, baseball is a human sport. Forget baseball. And then there he is with everybody else.
Right. Yeah, and then Lita makes fun of him, and then he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
I'll
show you.
Biggest Ferengi sport.
What is the biggest Ferengi sport? We don't know of any.
Dabo. Oh, it's Tongo.
Tongo. Yeah.
I'm sure they do consider playing cards for money a sport on Ferenginar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exercise makes them
Probably
sweat.
the only sport left.
Someone bought the other sports.
In the next scene, they actually go out to the holodeck, and maybe here's part of your issue, Davan, with like this holosuite is maybe what 10 meters by 10 meters, and
This maybe I can get behind what we're seeing right now. But once they add the stands, and it's like that would be all fine too if Rom wasn't also in those stands. So there's just like a few things where like they keep stretching the size of what we see going on, which you know there's all kinds of force fields and shadows and trickery, holodeck trickery going on. But I don't know. This came up in a debate 9. Is this possible? Was the debate?
I think we're meant not to think too hard about it.
So the debate is it possible for them to play baseball in the magic hologram room on the space station in the future with all the aliens?
Yes,
That's the kind of stuff we debate over on debate 9.
That's
we
the
spent 20
debate.
minutes on that, Steve.
And damn it, the answer is no.
Yeah. So that setting that aside, so they all have like their own individual, like I guess workout gears, but they all have individual name tags because they don't have the uniforms and everything yet.
Interesting.
So they
Tiger
know
Woods
who everybody is. You know, they don't want to forget each other's names. when they're
There's
practicing.
only
I
9.
don't think they work at Walmart. It's just like, hi, I'm Jake.
Yeah, and Jake's got a Braves hat, and Ben Sisko's got a Giants hat on.
The slider Cisco.
The slider system.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the crew, they're like, just looking very awkward with their gloves. I love that this is a little bit of trivia here, but Max Grodicek, who plays Rom, apparently in real life a very accomplished baseball player, and had to, like, he was, even when he was trying to pretend to be bad, he was actually better than everybody else on set. So they made him play left-handed and like did all these things to just mess him up. Even though he's supposed to be the worst baseball player in the episode. And they're just talking about how they got to play all these Vulcans who are 3 times as strong and fast as all humans. But they got Worf and they got Bashir, who are Klingon and genetically enhanced human, respectively. And then they got 7 people who are not as strong as them. We get them just playing
wonky shoulder O'Brien over there. How long is he gonna
wonky
last?
shoulder O'Brien was kayaking times, but they just start off with playing catch, and this you're like, oh, this is not good, guys. Like, this is not going to be much.
I love how all the non-humans are all smacking at the ball when it goes towards us.
Yeah, with their hands.
That's a good screen grab.
Yeah. O'Brien's maybe the most uncomfortable, but you see, like, Sisko's like, this isn't looking too good against these Vulcans. Maybe we should be.
I've made a terrible mistake.
They never mention it again either. But Solok mentions once that the Vulcans have already been practicing for who knows how long.
Yeah,
It was a tough. It was
an uphill
undertaking,
climb, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sisko recruits Odo, saying, like, you'd be the best to be the umpire. We could get a holographic umpire, but no, we want a real life one who can make mistakes and can call something that's clearly a ball a strike, but we'll get to that.
Okay, see, I think now we've run into what you were talking about earlier, Dave. Why was Odo not on the team? Like, surely he could hit a home run or something, or like never miss a catch. Anyway,
he could certainly reach out of the strike zone if he wanted to chase something.
True.
Yeah.
True. Like, maybe he would be more useful on the team than, let's say, I don't know. I don't want to pick on Lita, but maybe Lita.
If Sisko really wanted to win, he would have had Odo be the ball.
How are they scoring all these runs against these Vulcans? And then the twist at the end is,
they try to hit a home run, didn't we, Odo? And then he just turns into a bird and just doesn't fly.
Very different moral for the episode. Very different moral for the episode if they win because Odo is secretly the ball.
We also get this
what a reveal, though, at the end.
There's a scene in the infirmary here where we see they've all been injured in this one practice that they've had so far, including Quark's head. His skull has been split open by a bat by Rom.
So Dave, they can fix a skull injury on a Ferengi, but they can't fix a rotator cuff injury.
Again, we're not meant to think too hard about these things.
Well, because the
that
thing
they're
about that injury is Julian always tells him to let it heal, and
Yeah.
Miles hears the call of the rapids.
Oh, rapids call to him. He can't help it.
They always are doing these groundbreaking medical procedures, but as soon as there's a baseball game, the doctor is useless. Like there's nothing he can do.
Just try not to move your arm too much for a few weeks. You should be fine.
Yeah.
He's a sports doctor. We're freezing it up. Get back out there, bud.
Oh yeah. This is where he's like, yeah, my shoulder's done. There's no way I can play. Well, that's all right. We'll make you like the team manager or something. I think they said for O'Brien.
The first base
The
coach.
coach.
He gave him like a litany of titles. He said, "You'll be the batting and pitching and first base and third base coach." Oh, great! Thanks.
Not manager, not the manager.
That sounds great.
He's like, "What's third base?"
Yeah, which one is? Do we start from over here or do we start from over here?
Right. Yeah. Then we get Penny Johnson herself. Cassidy Yates comes into the episode. I don't think we've seen in a while.
No,
right?
Criminally underused character. I love Cassidy.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, like she wasn't around that whole time. He was like on Earth and all that stuff was happening. Where he got stabbed by that Bajoran cult guy.
She was in prison for a while, so you can't.
Well, that was years ago. Anyway, she's back. And Ben's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you. You're glad you're back. I got so many things in mind for some time together." And she thinks they're gonna have nice romantic, just them being private. Not so much. How is your defense going? How's your swing? Because he needs a third baseman now. With Brian out. Yeah,
you should have sent her over the Cestus 3 and pick up a couple of their best players too.
It takes
a couple of ringers. Yeah.
6 weeks to get there.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So we get this next practice, which Cassidy's part of. We're seeing Rom. He's still really struggling though. And okay, I can. No character in sports anything have I ever connected more with Rom. Because I was always that kid who got stuck in right field for baseball because I was terrible at baseball, especially defense. Because right field got the least amount of hits to it, right? Because most batters are right-handed and they hit the left field, and I'd be like to this day, I'm still bad at catching pop flies. Gauging where they're going to land. That's the biggest thing. Where is that actually going to land? And I was just like, and being that guy that just isn't keeping up. Cisco wanting to beat Solak so bad. This is a liability for him, So there's a bit of patience. It's not much here.
Do you think Worf is surprisingly bad at this? And same with Julian.
You think they'd be a little better?
Julian should be very good, shouldn't he?
I think that's one of the funniest things about the episode, though, is that really none of with the exception of Jake, who seems like an okay pitcher until the Vulcans start, knocking him out of the park on him. I mean, they're all really bad at it.
Nog's competent, maybe as a catcher.
Nog seems all right, but Worf is. Yeah, you would think a big, strong guy like Worf, all he's got to do is make contact, and that ball's out of here. And he can barely manage to dribble off a foul when we see that one full at bat that he has.
Jake, having grown up with baseball his whole life and his dad immersing him in it, it makes sense that he would be a natural. And Ben, but there's still 9 really good humans against 9 Vulcans. The Vulcans are going to win almost all the time. Speaking of which, I love how Solak just comes to watch the practice.
I've come to watch you fail.
I've come to watch you. It's part of my new study. And this, this is really what sets Cisco off here, because I think as they're trying to get Rom to hit here, I don't know, what did he throw the bat in the process? I think
he lets go of the bat. It goes right over Jake's head. Yeah.
And this is where he goes, "Hey, you are out of here. You can't play." Like he unleashes on Rom.
Do you
here.
think he's a little aggressive as this?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very much.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He asked him a
This
favor.
rivalry with Solok has been eating him.
He wants to
This-
win.
Solog is lucky that Cisco hasn't poisoned Vulcan's atmosphere. He hates him so much. This is
What's
like Eddington level.
I don't
Obsession.
care if they are founding members of the Federation. I'm going to take this out on all of them.
Exactly.
Commander, I said launch torpedoes.
That'll teach him to show me up on a baseball diamond.
So he kicks Rom off the team.
This
and
sequence is hilarious. We're all not going to play.
yeah, we're all going to quit the team in protest. You know?
They're all hoping that this is their way out. They're all like, look, none of us really want to do this.
Which all the Starfleet crew, it's not just the Ferengi family, it's also this, like, you know, Ezri and Bashir and all them. They all want to quit too. They're not going to play unless he apologizes. But Rom says, no, you guys got to keep playing. I want the team to win no matter what, you know, and if the team's better off without me, then so be it. And I was like, I can relate with that to Rom because I had some of our ball hockey games where I'm like, it might be my turn, but I'd rather like the better player go out right now and the team wins. And so, you know, I definitely empathized with Rom in that situation because it is all supposed to be for fun, but you know, you don't want to be the one, feel like that one who's pulling the team down, which, you know, the rest of the team's like, well, that doesn't matter. But, you know, that Lita appreciates that Rom is making this gesture. Anyway, and then they get a bit of a montage after that with a couple things, including O'Brien and Bashir making gum, but infusing it with Scotch flavor.
Scotch.
Brilliant. From the islands.
I don't know, just focusing more on the game, like learning all the terms in the boardroom. So, like, you know, there's a real like time jump here, working on their stance. Again, Bashir should be better at this.
With Bashir learning how to hit in front of his famous shaving cream collection there. And, I love his shaving cream collection.
It's very diverse.
And coffee to go mugs.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Quark's like getting his Ferengi waiters to help him with the different things, and then we see some.
He actually looked good there, Dave. He looked good. He was getting everything.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
there's a little fight
Quark
here
is
between
like-
Ezri and Bashir.
Quark is like most improved. You see that in the game.
Yeah,
He
Quark's not bad. Quark does-
yeah.
Quark's not bad in the game.
So when I used to play ball, what just happened with Bashir and was it Ezri?
Oh yeah, because they both go for the ball, and neither of them call, or they both call it, right?
They both call for it and then they both back off. Yeah.
This drove me crazy.
Well, who was right? Who was right in this situation?
Bashir should have caught it. He called it.
He called it first, and I mean, if they both call it, then somebody, preferably the person who called it second, needs to back off and say you got it or something to indicate to Bashir that, okay, I'm letting you have this, instead of just standing there and let it fall between them.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Who's the center fielder? Let the center fielder take it, not the loser in right field.
He's on first
No
base.
offense. I played right field too.
Oh, is this a family trip?
I did my
Yeah, I guess
stint in right field as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Babe Ruth played right field. It was the Yankees' way of saying you're in the lineup for your bat.
Yeah, before the designated hitter, and when he couldn't pitch anymore.
We need to put you somewhere, so we're putting you in right field because we'd be crazy not to have you in the game.
We
Jake
better
even
hit a
has.
home run because we know you can't run.
We also see here Kira catches Odo practicing his moves in the office.
That was great. Like, that was my favorite part of this episode. Was Odo.
Yeah.
Safe
out. You know, Kira's reacting.
He's
To her
such a
boyfriend.
good actor. He plays such a good umpire.
Yeah,
he was one.
And then, okay, this is one of the more lengthy scenes in the episode, but this is between Cassidy and Ben Sisko, you know, where he's got some aches and pains, you know, and Cassidy kind of really confronts, like, why are you so obsessed with this game, with beating Solok and everything else? We know that there's more to this backstory, and it all kind of comes out here, where Ben explains that as cadets, he dealt with some casual, passive aggressive racism from Solak, who said that all humans are emotional because he was out at the bar drinking with the cadets, and a bunch of Vulcans showed up. Solak and a bunch of other Vulcan cadets, said that they're here to observe human emotional people in their natural habitat or something like that. And so Ben apparently, while he was drunk back then, he challenged Solak to a wrestling match.
Of all things. I mean, he was on the wrestling team, but
Yeah.
Come on, Vulcan. Let's see what you got. Come on.
Yeah. I love Cassidy's reaction is the best. She's like, "Are you serious? You fought a Vulcan in wrestling? Like you would obviously lose."
I was drunk.
Yeah.
I was drunk. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're 3 times stronger and faster too." And then Solak wrote essays about this and papers about always citing this one example of humans being idiots.
I love that it's not just an essay; it's several essays. Like
He wrote
paper
several
after paper,
Yeah.
he says, and they all start with that damn wrestling match.
Right?
What a guy! That Solak is quite the guy.
Quite the guy. And Cassie Yates says, "Well, you got to tell the crew. They don't understand why you're so obsessed. Like if you just tell them, then they'll understand, and then they'll let a lot of your like anxiety and sort of how much you're coming down on them roll off their back." He's like, "No, you can't tell them. You can't tell them at all. Please promise me. Please promise me you won't tell them, Cassie." She's like, "Okay," and then she cuts, and then she tells them all.
It's a great editing gag where it's like one of those jokes where like just by the rhythm of it, whenever I see this joke in anything, it almost always makes me laugh just because of like, it's coming. She said, "I promise I won't tell them." Cut to, "Okay, I promise not to tell him." But like, there's just something about that rhythm that just kills me every time I see it.
Yeah, really well done here.
Yeah.
Explaining that Worf had the best, one of the best reactions.
It is a dishonorable motive.
That's right. We gotta take it to,
Now I can kill one, right?
I mean, it would be kind of wrong not to kill him after that, right?
Yeah.
Right, everybody? No?
I love them all putting their hands together here at the end. Like, let's rally around and let's do this for the captain and go Niners,
Let's do this to help our captain work through his petty grudge.
Well, if they don't help him, people die.
he needs to get this out in a non-violent way. So let's make this happen.
Then we get the actual game itself, and we finally get the crew in their uniforms. There's a holographic crew. We even get, guys, an anthem. Quark's got the best reaction.
Whatever. The Ferengi national anthem is coins jingling in a pocket.
When I saw this the first time, I was like, "Oh, there's an anthem now. There's a Federation anthem." It never gets played again. Does it have words? Maybe. Who knows?
I like to think of like Ronald D. Moore or somebody just poking his head into the composer's office like 3 days before it's needed and be, "Oh, by the way, we're going to need a Federation national anthem for the baseball game." oh, sure. Okay.
It sounded like that probably would be the anthem of the Federation, to which, of course, the Vulcans are members. Oh, Norman's saying they should have had more in the yeah, that would have
drinking a park pop, like a ballpark.
Or like trying to flag down a vendor or something.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Well, actually, yeah, good point, because there are thousands of people on this station. Maybe there would be some people willing to come watch this game, but nope. So they will break here, but Cisco, he's like, Mike, we don't practice in front of holographic spectators, so we want to take it out here, and we get the whole gag here where Odo says, "Play ball," and then everyone kind of disappears behind him.
I love Dave where he says, "Eliminate the spectators," not
eliminate them.
As a uniformist, Dave, how are these Niners uniforms?
Beautiful. These are fire. These baseball uniforms, love them. Why did the Yankees win the World Series? Because you can't stop staring at the pinstripes, and everything about this really works. I love the hat. I love the colors. Just such a good uniform. Love the reveal. It just makes them feel like a team. I think it's cliche, but it's true. Let's hear some chatter. Batter, batter, batter. Death to the opposition and all those things. Where's that?
Death to the opposition.
Get them. Anyway, the Vulcans are kind of, boring.
I love the Vulcan guy who hits a home run and goes and sits down and doesn't even take his batting helmet off.
Yeah, it's just they don't get.
He's like, I'm gonna have to get back up pretty soon anyway, probably.
Yeah. Cisco's getting pissed
by the
off.
way.
Yeah,
I thought that was great too.
The Logicians, yeah, like the
Yes.
name of their team.
Yeah.
Garrick must have designed those. Maybe Garrick designed them. Like that would have been fun to throw into the episode. But not so.
The best name ever, the Logicians. Nailed that.
I even love this this like batting helmet with the red brim on it. Like there's little touches like that and like the design that just really work.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the Niners are not doing so well in this game. They are getting hammered by the Logicians. Despite
2
Jake.
hits, Ben and Jake.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Those 9 hits. There's some tension in this game. They're playing for keeps, guys. Like this scene here between Kira and the woman Vulcan. Where she's
So
like,
wait,
don't you?
they got 7 runs on 9 hits.
7 home runs,
I
maybe.
guess.
Yeah, you're out. By the way, the tension is building up here. Is this where? Yeah, like this is where. Worf is doing his whole thing.
Yeah.
Where
This is
he's
Worf's at bat. Yeah.
taking his
really-
time.
I really thought Worf's hand-eye coordination would be a lot better.
Me too.
He's just
Hitting a
spinning out.
baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. Even a Klingon
is.
warrior apparently has a lot of trouble with that.
Well, it's-
He's usually aiming for somebody's head. It's easier to hit.
it
And
is,
now,
yeah.
so Dave, when we were chatting about baseball last week, and I said this is the problem with baseball is that anybody can call timeout,
Mhm.
and like
Odo doesn't like it either.
Hurry up.
Yeah. Come on,
Do
batter.
not rush me.
Do not rush me. He says. Kira was on base at this point.
yeah, I was excited here. I was excited that Worf was going to do something.
Yeah, he thought so too. He thought like he was getting a walk, but then no, it's a strike. He's been struck out.
Oh man, I was yelling at the TV at this point. He was
Controversial
clearly a
call.
Controversial.
It was low and outside.
Yeah,
You're right.
Super
clearly.
low and outside.
Caught the corner. It cut the corner. So this speech.
What
here
were you
from-
regenerating? That was the best
The hell
line.
were you looking at? You can't tell me that ball was over the plate. What were you doing? Regenerating?
Caught the outside corner.
Everything about this is my favorite part of this episode. Everything about this is perfect. Anybody who's ever watched
You know
baseball.
what was missing, Steve? What was missing was kick the dust on the umpire. That would have been
Yeah, he needed to have his full.
Oh.
He needed to have his full Earl Weaver moment where he throws the hat and he kicks the dust. But yeah, I mean, like even Odo's tone, his sort of caught the outside corner, like just the sort of dismissive umpire tone is just perfect.
and remember, he could have had a holodeck or a umpire, but he chose a.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he chose.
Absolutely.
He asked for this.
Absolutely.
Anyway, he ends up tapping Odo on the chest, and Odo's like, "You're God!" Throws him out of the game. What? How did you do that?
What?
That does screw their chances pretty bad. though.
What?
What?
And then, like you were saying earlier, turns his back. Just turns his back.
Oh, and
This conversation is over.
the look
Like,
from
what the
Solak.
fuck is he even looking at? He's
He's
Solak.
giving Cisco a chance to vacate the field. He's like,
He's like, "You're gone. You're out of here."
when I turn back around, you better be gone.
And all of a sudden, O'Brien's in charge, apparently, of the team. Without
He looks the part. He looks the part.
Yeah,
You know.
he looks like he should be the manager. He's
Yeah.
like, "All right, I just learned about this game a couple days ago, but let's do it."
Look what y'all standing around for.
Cisco ends up in the stands here with Rom, which was great.
No.
Awkward.
The fact that Ron moved over again, that was
Yes.
really
Yeah.
funny, too.
That was
Rob scoots over when Cisco comes in. Like, oh, he might still be mad at me.
Yeah. The game continues. Okay, this is here where Esri does her like backflip or whatever. But
Does this an incredible, like the greatest catch in baseball history, like a blind catch where she runs up the wall.
Yeah, she runs up the wall, but like I'm like, okay, like the body double that comes in is I think a man. It's just like that comes in here and they're like, okay, well, I guess Esri was the MVP of the team. We said Worf and Bashir didn't bring much to the table, but she did.
oh, Bashir. Bashir ruins that moment with this.
Is that what he says?
Fancy dad.
Now that is a fancy dad.
That is a fancy. What is a fancy dad?
A hot dog.
That is a fancy dad. Yeah, Rob
The Ferengi way of clapping.
yeah, on the top, yeah.
Because they're aliens.
So they're getting down to the 10th inning or 9th inning, sorry, and they're down 10-0.
So this was a little anticlimactic for me here because you talked about Major League, you talked about all the great baseball movies at the beginning or shows, or whatever, and I thought there was going to be the comeback of the whatever. It never happened.
Manufactured triumph only. So they get down to this player who. Okay, so yeah, there's a hit off of Cisco, and then this guy doesn't touch the plate coming home. And but he just goes to the bench and Odo notices but can't tell him anything. They're like, go tag him out, like O'Brien clues him in. He's like, well, which one? Go find him, tag them all. He's sitting there on the bench.
Tag them all.
And just Odo's like reactions was like, no. And then this guy just gets up and runs away. But they managed to get him out. And there's a big moment. There's a bit of a moment here where they get the out, which is nice for them. But then Cisco gets he gets the idea here. Let's do something with Rom, He goes and tells O'Brien about it because he's been kicked out of the game, but he can still feed some information to him. This would sometimes be illegal in some baseball.
Yeah, this is also known as cheating. He's been ejected from the game. He's not allowed to. He's not allowed to manage from the stands. But I guess Odo was looking the other way.
Yeah, I think they were
His back towards him.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They get Rom a uniform. They put him into the game. And they're like, he's got a pinch hit for Jake Cisco, who would probably be normally one of their better batters. So they bring him in. The plan. They bring back the holographic audience. And it's a real nice moment here with Rom. He's just so kind of happy even before the big celebration.
I love that they got bigger hats for the Ferengis, so they fit their heads.
Yes.
To fit their heads. So Rom is getting 2 strikes. It's looking pretty dire here. And then they're like, let's give Rom the signals, where we move our belt or whatever, the baseball signals, touching their arm. He's like, what? And he just hits this bunt out of, nowhere, comes along, and so they can suddenly go for it. Run to first. I love how the catcher, he slides in here, throws it home, doesn't go for the out at first, goes to stop them because stopping them from getting any run because they want to keep the shutout here going. Nog gets home safe. They get their run and the shutout is over. The baseball hats look so wonky on our Ferengi fellas. Well, yeah. What would you?
This is where you can see, by the way, that the guy Rom, the actor, actually runs really fast. He did.
Oh yeah. When he runs to first base, you're like, yeah, that's a pretty good run.
That is not a Ferengi run.
They couldn't make him run one-handed, so didn't work out so well. Yeah, I love he gets pulled off the field here. And then Solak gets ejected. He's like, the game's still going. Why are they celebrating and pull it off the field there?
This is highly irregular.
That smile before he throws him out is it's the best.
It gives Odo to be like a part of the team, like without being on the team.
Sort of, yeah.
Right?
Well, being the umpire is all of Odo's like fascist tendencies. He loves this.
Yes.
You mean I can enforce the rules on everybody and there's no appeal? Like what I say goes?
I am the absolute.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, great Mo. I love them carrying.
I am a
on here.
golden liquid god.
Yes.
Exactly.
Jake was feeling sorry he lost the game. You know, his ERA is not so good anymore. But you know, they said, hey, if they've been human batters, you would have only let up a couple runs. Don't worry about it, Jake.
Don't worry, Jake. It's just an exhibition game.
Yeah, we get the apology to Rom, you know, from Ben Sisko, which, you know, he's like, you know what, maybe you got something to you, Rob. You know, I've given you not a fair shake. So that's nice. They got that moment. And then, you know, they're all celebrating, having drinks. And Solak says, what are you doing? This is a typical human reaction. You know,
this is a typical human reaction based on emotionalism and illogic.
Yes.
You are attempting to manufacture a triumph where none exists.
Manufactured triumph. Hear, hear.
Manufactured triumph.
To manufacture triumph.
Do I hear
From
some
Cisco's
irritation?
3-0 kitchen.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
So they get the bet. Then Kira throws him the baseball. You know, signed by the team. I guess not him yet. And I just love the ending here. He just throws it up in the air, and it transitions over into the station. Beautiful ending. And that's the story itself. But yeah, like, so Adam, any more questions that we didn't hit along the way?
No, you guys did a great job. And I did enjoy it. I don't want you guys to think I didn't enjoy this episode. It was, like I said, the best of the 4 so far.
How about some fun facts or some details discovered? Not sad facts.
Fun stats, you mean?
Delta details?
This is baseball.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. The tactic that Rom uses to score a Nog is known as the safety squeeze. A similar tactic is in the suicide squeeze, which would be if Nog were to take off from third base when the pitch was thrown. There's some baseball trivia. Worf throws left-handed but bats right-handed, and Michael Dorn is actually left-handed. The rule quoted by Odo and to Cisco regarding contact with an umpire was the actual number of the rule in the Major League Baseball rule book, Rule 4.06, subsection A, paragraph 4, at the time the episode was filmed. In 2015, the rules were reorganized, and the current rule is now 6.0.
Look it up, but do it in the stands. Oh, that's one of the best ones.
Look it up and do it in the stands. In the top of the 5th inning, Logician's player number 15 utilizes a takeout slide at second base to knock over Kira and thus prevent her from completing a double play with a throw to first base. Nog later asks, was that slide at second legal? To which Cassidy Yates replies, afraid so. By 2016, Major League Baseball had made such slides illegal due to increasing player injuries, specifically during the 2015 National League Divisional Series between the Mets and Dodgers. Players in the 24th century would know this. But of course, at the time of this episode's production in the late 90s, the move was legal, which means the Niners and Logicians are using late 20th century rules or a version of baseball rules in which takeout slides are again legal sometime before baseball's demise in the mid 21st century.
Them Cestus 3 rules, they play for keeps over there.
Exactly. In the top of the 9th inning, Logician's player number 8 fails to touch home when attempting to score. Rather than try to touch home immediately, he returns to dugout, prompting the Niners to shout to Nog that he needs to be tagged out. In fact, by the late 20th century baseball rules, a player who does not touch home plate and returns to dugout can be put out on an appeal from the defensive team. Is that right? Can be put out on an appeal from the defense team. Such an appeal is made simply by a player touching the plate while holding the ball. It is possible that this nuance the majority of Niners did not learn during their studies, though one might expect at least Cisco to be aware of it.
Well, you're supposed to stay more or less on the baseline.
Yeah,
right?
generally, if you run too far outside the baselines, you're called out regardless of.
Well, and if you go and sit down,
that's outside. That's outside the baseline.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a Gatorade, man. I'm going to sit down.
Took off his batting helmet and everything, right?
He was done. He was like, "Well, that's it for me."
In the argument between Cisco and Odo over his called third strike is a typical manager-umpire argument that occurs in real baseball games. This is often employed by managers as a way to motivate their team to play harder, which mostly ends up with the manager being ejected from the game. Does his ejection get them riled up? Not so much, I think.
Not so much.
I think they're just shocked.
Yeah. I like how O'Brien asked rhetorically, you never seen a guy get thrown out of a game before? And chances
Yeah,
are
it's like we've never seen a game before. What are you talking about?
anyone ever been thrown out? Okay. Any other? Okay, let's just do a couple more trivias. In the final scene of Quirks, neither Michael Dorn nor Rene Auberjonois are present. Their photo doubles stand in for them. Oh yeah. I didn't. Okay, it's not. They're not even there. In Quirk's signature, the letter Q has big lobes on the baseball. The episode marks the first time Rom appears not wearing a Ferengi headdress. The Christopher Pike Medal of Valor, mentioned by Solok at the start of this episode, was awarded to Sisko in Tears of the Prophets. Sisko mentions that he had challenged Solok in wrestling. It was established in previous episodes like Q-Less and Apocalypse Rising that Sisko participated in wrestling matches in his academy years. The episode marks the first and only time the Anthem of the Federation is played on screen. In the episode After Image, which is the one before this, Ezri states that she is left-handed. However, in this episode, she knows both and throws and bats right-handed. This could be consistent with her stated difficulty in sorting out her prior lifetimes and when their skills and abilities take over. Just last thing, the Star Trek original series episode, The Immunity Syndrome, also featured a Federation starship completely crewed by Vulcans, the USS Intrepid, which was destroyed in 2268 by a giant space amoeba. We all remember that. Edith. Oh, Edith's with us. Hey, Edith.
I like that.
You like Star Trek, honey? Hmm?
Pizza cake.
Oh, she likes species cake. Oh, you like cake, yeah.
That's good. That's good. I heard every car is now an Enterprise, you see.
Pizza cake.
It's true. Any big machine, she doesn't know what it is. It's Enterprise? Enterprise? Right. There you go.
So, guys, let's get into our ratings. I'm just going to make this a little bigger. All right. And give this episode a rank. So, I'll start us off. I feel this episode is a solid 9 for the Niners. Jaemeel not with us. Jody not with us. Adam.
I'll give it an 8.5.
8.5. Ashley not with us. Kevin.
I said this wasn't one of my favorite episodes, but for what this episode is supposed to be, it nails it. This is a 10.
All right.
Wow.
Steve.
I'm gonna go an 8. I really love this episode. It's a sentimental favorite of mine. I don't know if I would make it in my my personal top 10 list or anything, but I really love this episode. So I'll give it an 8.
All right, and Davan.
What comes after 9? 10.
There you go. So we're averaging with our 5 votes tonight, 9.1. Pretty good episode, best of the season so far. I think we would all kind of go with that. And like Ronald D. Moore, as mentioned, wrote it. Chip Chalmers directed. And came out in October 1998.
Oh, Chippy Chalmers. There's a baseball name for you.
Yeah, totally.
Who's a baseball babe, isn't it?
Didn't he play for the Braves in the 90s?
He probably did. So just looking ahead to the next episode, guys, it's called... No, that's not it. That's the episode that would have came out of DS9. The next episode is called Chrysalis. Jack, Lauren, Patrick, and Serena, the genetically engineered humans, return to the station. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be sick that day.
Yeah, asking Bashir to help rouse Serena from her cataleptic state. So
have fun reviewing that one, guys.
What is not everyone coming? Not everyone wants to come to that.
Oh, this one's painful. I know what.
Have fun reviewing this creepy, problematic episode.
Oh, it's awful.
Is there like a doctor-patient thing?
Oh yeah, that's where it's like she starts singing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and they
Bashir has come so far since season 1, and then it's like, oh, what are you doing, Julian? What are you doing? Oh God.
It's also confusing because I think that they already knew at this point that they want Ezri and Bashir to end up together. So why even do this episode when they do it? But I guess they still have
Just
that.
to ethically compromise him for fun,
Right?
I guess. Like, I don't know.
It's been a while. It's been a while since one of our characters did something morally egregious. Let's just give him one more before we end up before we wind up the show.
But Cisco didn't gas a planet last week. Come on. So that would be the next.
I guess for Adam, we're poisoning the well a bit.
Yeah, maybe you'll love the episode, Adam, and you'll say this is the best episode ever. Oh, Adam, I did get your rating for last episode, the after image. You said you didn't like it. 4? Okay.
4.
Noted. All right. Well, thanks to the whole panel and to everyone being with us tonight. And thanks to everyone here in the live comments. Sam's given this a 10. I don't know, seeing if there's anything else that came through here. But we'll get the other ratings in time.
I'm good. For Christmas presents, everybody, go buy the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko by friend of the show, Derek Tyler Attico.
Yeah, that's great. I have my copy already. Yeah, check that out.
Makes a great stocking stuffer.
And what do you got going on in your world, Steve? What's new?
Actually, speaking of Star Trek related stuff, I am writing a video right now for to come out next week about the reasons behind the incredible popular and commercial success of Star Trek 4, which came out around this time of year. It came out just after Thanksgiving in 1986, and it was, until the 2009 Star Trek, it was the most popular Star Trek movie. So I am making a video about why that was. What was it about that movie that made it so darn beloved, not just by Trekkies, but by general audiences? So.
It was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well harnessed charm.
Indeed.
My second favorite.
I think it's the exact reason we all like this episode.
It's fun,
right? It's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of the things I really like about this episode too, and about Star Trek 4, and about a lot of my favorite Star Trek, is I like silly Star Trek. I like it when Star Trek, I love serious Star Trek, but I also like it when it doesn't take itself seriously, when it reminds us, this is kind of goofy. I mean, like we can tell some really serious stories with this, and it's great, but let's not forget, this is kind of goofy underneath everything, and it's okay to remember that and have fun with it,
And there's some real unforgettable lines in that movie that I think that everybody could, come up with something right now. So,
well, double dumbass on you, but
yeah.
Well, I think it's like the writing in that is so strong. The fact that it's maybe the best use of comedy while there's still like stakes and everything else. And like that was my mother's all-time favorite Star Trek movie. Like she would quote that all the time.
I've always thought it's the movie, if there's someone that who has never seen Star Trek, that's the movie to show them, because you don't have to know. I mean, obviously, if you have seen the 3 that comes before it, you'll know a little bit more. You'll get a little bit more out of it, but you can just start with that one. You don't need to do any homework. It's obvious what's going on. It's easy. It's fun. It's funny, and they'll just have a good time.
Sam's he's requesting you do a video on Janice Rand one day. Is that something you're
that's a nice vague topic.
Just on this whole character.
Just do it. I don't care what. Just do something with Janice.
How about she kills that Vulcan and that other guy in Star Trek 1 on the transporter?
Yes. Janice. Okay, so transporter operator was not the best use of her skills. Okay,
that's career choice.
Yeah, they transferred her somewhere else, and she did better.
Yeah, she got a better gig after that. Okay, and what else do we got going here on Live Long and Podcast? Davan, you just did a season 2 episode for Locutors of Trek with we're talking metaphysics with Richard Hanley. That was 2 hours of awesome conversation. Go check that out. And our next one will be on January 8th, and we'll be talking astrophysics with Dr. Erin McDonald. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, Erin McDonald's coming on. She's in Star Trek Online,
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, maybe we'll ask her about that. I'll probably just talk more astrophysics myself. we did a Trek 10 recently on top ideas or plot threads to pick up for a Star Trek Legacy series. And on Wednesday, we have a first contact with Star Trek cover artist and podcaster J.K. Woodward. So that'll be a lot of fun.
A Woodward, an Adam's family.
Another Woodward, yes.
Yeah.
Of the clan Woodward.
Might be.
Yeah.
And look out, on Sunday, Star Trek Radio Theater returns here on the channel as we will be doing Time's Arrow from Star Trek The Next Generation season, it's the end of season 5, at the beginning of season 6, with the whole crew. We got Davan Skelhorn playing Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain himself. I'll be Picard.
I'm tickled as pink as a Georgia peach in July.
Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Kevin's gonna be playing Jody and others, as you can see. André Myette joining us for the first time ever on Radio Theater. My son's gonna be playing Jack London. My wife playing Beverly Crusher and others. So really excited. And we have Jeff Aiken coming from the Starfleet Leadership podcast to play Commander Riker as well. First time he'll be doing that with us. So check that out, guys. On Sunday night, that's when we'll be doing that. Hopefully we're going to get going with Steve for one in the new year. We're looking just to figure out what date that's going to be, but check that out. Check out for that in the near future. And if you didn't know, we are part of a federation of podcasts called the United Federation of Podcasts, which features all kinds of different great shows. Like tomorrow night, I'll be on with Davan and André, talk about X-Men. That's a show that's talked about X-Men, the animated series. But tomorrow we're talking about the X-Men movie from the year 2000, which also has Patrick Stewart from Star Trek. So we're looking out for that. Well, part of it was
still got my VHS copy.
You still got the VHS, nice. So we'll talk about that film tomorrow night on the X-Men channel, on X-Rated. Also, Graphic Histories, a podcast that André Myette does, an audio format, interviewing all kinds of great people, produced by Davan Skelhorn. Who's the next guest?
Well, he just released yesterday. Interview with Joe Eisma. No, it was today with Joe Eisma. I called him Eisma when he was on First Contact, but he called him Esma on that show. So I'm thinking André has it right. But great cover art, or a great comic artist for Morning Glory's fame. And next up is Christopher Sequeira, who was also on First Contact because they together did that Star Trek Halloween miniseries recently. But a great comic and otherwise writer. So check that out as well. And lots of big interviews coming up on Graphic Histories.
And you were doing Hold Up, your movie podcast with Chris Murphy yesterday?
That got delayed.
Oh, it got delayed.
Yeah. We're doing that on Friday now, I think.
Look out for that. Talking radio movies. And my son Eamon has a music podcast called Eamon on Track, where he reviews music albums. Most recently with Kevin, they talked about the 9 Inch Nails album, Pretty Hate Machine. Yeah. And the Super Mater Brothers podcast, which features all kinds of reality TV shows and different things of Marvel as well. We're wrapping up Survivor season 45. We only got 3, or I guess we're down to the final 7 now. So look out for that on Wednesdays on the Super Mater Brothers podcast. And I think those are all the plugs. So thanks so much to the whole panel, the whole crew, Steve for being with us once again. And we'll be back next time to talk about that episode with Bashir and all them and the Augments. Okay, looking forward to that.
Manufactured Triumph.
All right, we'll leave you. Live long and podcast, everyone. Have a great night.
All right, Nanners, let's see some chatter.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Hey, batter, 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 batter.
Steps to the opposition. Hey, batter, swing, batter.
Strike them out.
Strike them out.
Now let's get out of here.